Transformers used to love redesigning its brand, and with those redesigns, we got to see some of the old characters change to fit into these new unique worlds. Yet, as the brand got larger and larger, it fell into the same trap that so many others already had, in that invoking the nostalgia of the IP over the importance of making something new and enjoyable, resulting in the franchise becoming more repetitive and just rehashing the G1 looks again and again. And as much as I dislike this fact, those are new continuities, so even if I don't want them to go that way with the visuals, I can expect that. But the interesting thing is, there is one version of the brand's days of reinvention that still exists. That is, of course, the live action movies, the iteration that is the reason the brand has grown to the global sensation it is today, still lasting 16 years later. Honestly, you'd think that with these being responsible for the success, that the brand would be trying to mimic the look of them instead of the old G1 stuff. But instead, we got the Bumblebee movies added on at the last minute opening scene where they decided to try and retcon the movie characters into looking like the ugliest attempts to rehash the vintage look yet. We got everything from Skinny Twig Shockwave, Ironhide and Ratchet that look like walking corpses, this monster they dared to call Ravage, and this unused Megatron design that was flagged for breaking continuity. Then we have the way the B film portrayed the man who was the face of the brand until Buzzboy stepped up to the plate, Optimus Prime. When those who hated the film saw this design, they rejoiced, and when I saw it, I said, "Oh God, that's terrible. Why does he look like he's fallen apart? Why does he have windshield wipers on his chest when he doesn't have an Earth mode yet? You already combined the movie and G1 looks perfectly in Age of Extinction. Why not copy this?" Needless to say, I wasn't happy. So when the next movie finally came in the form of Rise of the Beasts, and the set photos came out showing us a more G1-like truck with a big grill guard on it, and I was pretty worried. Then we were shown early renders of his robot mode, and saw that it was still very G1 style look, but there was some attempt to reintegrate the feel of the first live-action Prime design. And once the first trailer for the movie came out, I said, I'm okay with this. Now here he is in toy form in my home. I gotta say, there are so many toys of Movie Prime, and so many more of every Prime ever made, and this is one that I really like. There are some very nice details on him, from the silver shields on his windows, to those curves on the top of his smokestacks, and the nice red Autobot logos as opposed to the silver ones that movie characters tend to have. I also really like the look of his legs. They were designed in a way that almost mimics the feel of actual muscle structure, especially in his thighs, looking very toned. Given how Prime's chest design has always had the feel that makes people think of a six-pack, it is nice to have the whole body feel tough and ready to fight. Optimus does not skip leg day. I'm not a big fan of his hip skirts. They do sometimes get in the way, and I think he would be better without them. These blocks on his knees kind of look silly to me, and it would be fixed if they were colored silver like they were in the movie. The head sculpt is really good. This has also been changed to feel more like the look he had in the original 5 movies, but not one-to-one with it. I do wish his face wasn't changed, but this toy has his faceplate, so it's not really a bother. The articulation is also kind of odd on him. The shoulders do a thing that it seems at least one toy a year does, where the in and out joint is inside the torso instead of the arms, which can make them collide with parts of the chest when you're going for some action poses. The hips move forward from the body, which allows for some great high kicks, but very little back movement. Lastly, he has this transformation joint in his chest that can be used as an ab crunch if you want. It's some weird engineering, but you can get some great poses out of him regardless. For weaponry, he's got this flower pot with some junk on it. When you fold his hand in, you'll have a peg to attach it and give him a Mega Buster all his own. A very different type of gun for Prime. The spike on the bottom is an interesting touch, like some kind of bayonet for gutting his enemies. Of course, Movie Prime can never be without a sword, and this is a bit different looking, a bit thinner, and a bit longer, in all gray with no orange to be seen. I guess this was before he started heating up his blades. No, not that blades, his swords. For some reason, you can either have it pointing out right over his hand, like in the film, or use a post on the side to plug it into his forearm and make it a bit shorter. He can also hold it upward in his hand, and the same post is able to let it be stored on his back. And the pegs on the top and the bottom of his buster also let it be stored here. The truck mode is a truck. It's got a flat face, a grill guard, which is the first time Prime has ever had one of those. Also, his smokestacks are kind of movable, so you can flare them out if you wanted to. Then the back of it looks like what it is. Legs that are ripped open. This doesn't make it any less fun of a toy truck to play with, but it does take away a lot of its look. The sword is stored in between the legs, and the buster goes into one of those blocks from his knees. And the wheels feel more like they're sliding than rolling. All in all, a pretty normal vehicle mode. This is by no means the best movie Prime toy ever made, but it has to be the best one in the studio series. I do wonder what we could have gotten if we had the military truck mode from the concept art, but we got a good toy from what the final design was, and really, that's all that matters. See you guys next time.